Guys, so it has been, I think, a great day for you guys. Lot of sessions, lot of insights into different industries. Thank you. And so this session is again going to be quite interactive one. So you don't need to wait till last for the question if you have a question. So feel free to ask question, and of course I will also ask questions. So this will be a two-way journey. So our topic is, as you all know, it's a very hot topic these days. No day goes out in the newspaper when you don't read something about ChatGPT or Bard or LLMs, you know. So I understand this is going to be a topic where I will see a lot of questions. But first, I have a question, okay? So for this audience, please raise your hand, according to this. So where is your organization on this journey? And I'm talking to you about your organization, so it may not be your team, your department, organization as a whole. Okay? So first point, those raised hands who are one, those who already have either a customer-facing or an employee-facing chatbot. So how many in the room have, please raise your hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, decent. So 10% already have, at least 10 to 15% already have a chatbot which is employee or a customer facing one, commercial one. Good one. I don't know why robots are sitting on that green cafe chair, but anyway. So second, please raise your hands. Those who have done pilots, they do not have the employee or customer facing one, but they have done pilots and they are in the process of this journey. So please raise your hands, those who have. Okay, so we have one gentleman, so which is great. So I think you represent around 4 to 5% of this room strength, so which is good. Third category, those who are exploring it, and I think there would be a lot of us here in this category. Please raise your hands, those who have 3, those who are exploring it, who are thinking about it. So how many of you guys, organization-wise, are thinking about it? Great, so I see a couple of hands raised up, and so all the best again to your endeavors. Fourth, how many of us are here, think we do not really need chatbots? Why do we need chatbots? There is no use case, no business case. We are B2B company. We talk directly to our customers. What is chatbot for? Anybody, all people here who think their companies will probably not ever implement chatbots, or, and there's no value judgment here. Huh? This is perfectly fine. If there is no business case, please do not implement chatbot because everybody is doing it. No, not required. So how many of us here are in category 4? No business use case. Okay, I do not see a hand, so that's okay. And fifth is, how many of you have rolled out a generative AI-based chatbot? Okay, I see one hand. So here, thank you. Anybody else? So can I ask you, which organization are you from and what you have done? We can get a mic there for the gentleman.
Canada, Australia, Europe markets.
Okay.
So we have. So we have rolled out recently.
Okay.
ChatGPT based AI chatbot, conversational. Of course, we used our knowledge base, and our knowledge base is pretty large. So we have trained our chatbot both in the WhatsApp as well as the web.
Web. Okay.
Yeah.
App.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So again, big round of applause for the gentleman and the organization. They have already implemented a ChatGPT based chatbot. So we will hear more about such use cases as we go along. So what is the innate human need? Is to talk, right? I think the most difficult talk, if you ask somebody, is to keep his mouth shut, right? A lot of people get into trouble with this because they are not able to do this. And even if we keep our mouth shut, our mind is always talking, right? So it's an innate human need. So conversational AI thinks about talking, and this is absolutely as human as one can be. But history of conversational AI is not new. Again, history of AI is also not new. AI is again started in 1950s. Chatbots started in 1966 onwards. So we have again a huge journey starting with Eliza to the current ChatGPT that we have, and again then there are multiple versions of it. So that's where the history comes into it. My personal interaction with the conversational AI started when I was working with IBM. I was leading the consulting practice and working for the research lab. So this picture is of yesterday. This is not that time, 12 years back. So we created something called a spoken web, which was a complete large-scale model of what we now call as generative AI chatbot. And again, it has multiple use cases, from rural employment exchanges to farmers to dairy producers. So with Amul, we did a pilot. We did lot of pilots here with the job markets portals, where you can just speak into it and it will do a matching. So this is one example of how it started. Of course, in my career journey, I did a lot of stuff. Again, at Hero right now, we have done a lot of pilots, we have done a lot of implementations. But again, what has happened over the last year, and this is what has happened. So I call this is the moment, pre and post 2022, when ChatGPT got launched. So two things changed. One is from ICE, internal combustion engine, to electric vehicles. So people got really comfortable with buying electric vehicles. They are really buying it, using it on the roads. Same happened with what happened with chatbots, where from LSTMs to GPTs, that there's a complete journey change that has happened, where people, I used to go to my group company CEOs and tell them, implement a chatbot. Say, we have never found an answer which is suitable. And this used to be common, so open a chatbot and they will show you. And now with GPT, everybody is like astonished. Yes, so this is something which exceeds expectation, not even meets, many times it exceeds. Oh, this is possible. Writing an email, complete email draft with just one prompt is possible. So a lot of stuff is possible now with ChatGPT. So I will not talk about the previous technologies, what we did. We'll talk about the latest stuff that we are having. And again, as I said earlier, feel free to raise your hand, ask question wherever you feel like. And again, we have, I think, a lot of people who have experiences around this space, so happy to take that. So what is the generative AI? Again, I don't really need to explain to this audience what generative AI is, but simply put, it's a neural network which uses NLP, natural language processing, which creates output. Some people call it create, some people call it generates, and then there's a big debate between whether it's creation or creative work or generative work. But let's not go into semantics. It basically creates new content for you, and this new content again can be in multiple formats. It could be text, it could be picture, it could be audio, it could be video. So it depends on what you are looking for, the content will get created. So there are models around this. What is a model? I think all people understand what in artificial intelligence a model is. Model is algorithms plus data combined. You get a model which gives an output based on the input, again depending on what you want to do with that model, classification, generation, etc., etc. So this is a generative model which generates stuff for you. Okay, unimodal and multimodal. So what is unimodal? Anybody in the room? So what is a unimodal? आपको छोड़ के सर, नहीं आप भी बोल सकते थे, आपको भी ऑप्शन है वैसे. If nobody else, we have one person who will answer it. So anybody? Simple है. Unimodal is same. Uni is one same mode. So if you give a text, it will give you output in text. If you give a picture, it will give output in picture. If you give a music audio, it will give output in music audio. That's unimodal. Or multimodal is you give one input, you give a text prompt, you get a picture. The same model. And you give a picture, you give a text output. You want to give a picture and say, give me a caption. It gives you a text caption. So the model is able to work across multiple modes, from text to images, images to audio, video. So this is possible. This is today possible, and a lot of work is being done. And there are models at scale which are doing it. Stable diffusion is one, Midjourney is one. So a lot of models exist in this space. Now a very simple question. Why are these models called large language models? What is large about it? Yes, sir. Yes. So one is you have to feed a large amount of data. That's true. What else? Yeah, that's also right. And it could be pictures also. It could be audio, video also. So yes, but there's huge amount of data. But then I could just call it big data. Why should I call it large language model? Somebody in the back, I think, raised their hand. Anybody? Why not call it big data? Or why call it large language model? So essentially yeah, please. Mike didn't. Different geographical area. Okay, I mean, possible. So you have multiple language translation is one example. So one language from another. Yes, sir was also right. It has lot of data, but also one of the key parameters. It has lot of if you call neurons. So it has lot of parameters. So each neuron is one parameter. So the whole neural network is so huge. It has so many parameters to define the output. So it's not easy to predict. What when you give input, what the output would be, because there are like millions and billions of, now it has gone to billion scale parameters which decide what the output would be. So that's where it's large. So it's like a black box now, because out of million parameters, which one is impacting where is very difficult to predict. So these are extremely large models there. So current state of generative AI, I think all of you know. I should have probably hidden this answer and probably throw this as a question as well. So we have, again, people fear AI. There are a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in the audience, in the public. People think that AI is going to take over humanity. The second aspect is jobs, because it's so efficient, especially with the creative jobs. So if you were to create a picture, if you were to create a video, if you were to write an email, which you would think like, okay, it will take me maybe 2 hours or 3 hours amount of time frame for the email writing, it will do in few seconds. So the efficiency will improve, and so the number of people required will be less. So the question is, what will happen to those people whose jobs are no longer required? So that's another aspect of it, and it is going to transform industries. So many industries will actually extinct. So in fact, it said that lawyers, 40% of the work, AI, chat GPT kind of AI is able to do much more efficiently, and so the entire legal industry will transform. So a lot of industries will get transformed, like we had the chatbots coming in and BPO industry getting transformed. Opportunities also exist. So there are risks, there are opportunities. Even in India, a lot of Indian generative AI tools are being developed. They are for translation between Indian languages. There is one with Bhagavad Gita, not one actually, 4, 5 I have seen at least now. So 5 with Bhagavad Gita, you can ask your question, live question, and that chat GPT kind of Gita GPT will answer that question for you, and it's really good, wonderful. I will not say it's bad. It's pretty good job. So there are lots of options and opportunities available in India also, and that's where the government is counting on a $1 trillion economy with the digital economy. There are challenges. So I will quickly summarize, and I see the ticker running on the time. So the challenges are on the ethics side. So what if AI becomes smarter than us? Us means humans. So how would we control something that is already smarter than us? It's very, very difficult, right? Second is rights and intellectual property. Who owns what? So if a content is created by AI, who is the owner of that? Then how do we use responsible generative AI? So what should be the guardrails around this? For what purposes you can use it, what purposes you cannot or you should not be using it. And these are the questions around, for example, deep fakes, right? So a lot of stuff can be generated using AI technology, which is essentially not true, misinformation, etc. Regulation, how should governments regulate this? And again, there are efforts around world for this global regulation. So last but not least, from our perspective, the question is, how do we adopt this in our enterprise? How can we adopt it? There are, for example, we have at least 2 enterprises here who have adopted this in there. So this is basically an API based, but again, you have choices, you have options. So you can use a third-party one, and you can create your own large language model as well. A lot of large language models are open sourced right now, so you can actually download from GitHub, from other sources, any of those large language models, buy your own infra and create your own chat GPT also. So that is possible. and it's, I mean, except for the hardware and the infra cost, it's virtually free. So you have option for that. So I think that brings close to our end of this session, but again, I'm happy to take any question anybody may have, and
I'm requesting everyone, please big round of applause for Mr. Nirupam Srivastava.